Welcome, my dear Cancer, to Wellness Beyond Intuition. Here with me, Oliver. Welcome back. If you were here back in August, and if you're brand new to the channel, then I'm happy that you're here. And it's wonderful that you're checking out what it is that I have to say. This is again your reading for September, and as always, they are general, as it's pretty difficult to read specifically for all of you, but there's a way around that. And I usually tell people to check out their moon and rising, that placement, and also your Venus placement and your Jupiter placement. That'll give you more of a full picture of where you're at, and which is also, like jump between the different videos and see where you're at with all of that. And then it becomes a little bit of a puzzle that you might have to sort of, figure out somehow, but it's worth it in the end. I also usually say to people that if they hear a word or a phrase that seem to resonate with them, make it your own. It might indicate that we're right on track with what it is that I need to share with you. So keep that in mind. Also, very quickly, I do personal reading. I do them over at one2listen.com, and all of that and a lot more you can find in the description box below this video, okay? We're also over at Rumble. If you want to check us out over there, it is the same video, but it's open source over there. It's not as censored, but for now, YouTube is also a great place to be. I did do a little meditation, as I always do, in order to, get an idea where you're at in the specific month with it, which is September, and what came to me very clearly. And now, don't get me wrong, it's not that you're not a person that listens to other people, but this month particularly, it would be okay for you to listen to what it is that is being said. And the funny part is that what I'm getting is that it's not necessarily what is being said directly to you. It is also an opportunity for you to give yourself a chance to listen between what it is people like they say, read between the lines. Here's like, listen between the lines, listen between the words, listen to people and hear what they have to say. It's interesting, because when we show up listening more than talking, we learn a lot, and you can learn a lot about a lot of things, including relationships, if you listen, because a lot of things are not being said directly. A lot of things are being said indirectly. And I would pay attention to that if I were you this month in September. Also, if we look at career and money and finances, well, sort of the same. And you'll see that if you listen again, you'll be guided in a direction where you can't steer wrong, in the sense that it'll give you lots to work with, coming from a point of view of getting ideas, being creative, and that's sort of like seeing and listening to people where they've been and where they've been at, and how they made it in their lives. Like if you were looking at being more successful in your business, your own business, listen to people and hear what they've done. If it comes to your job, your current job, if you're working for a company, etc., listen to what people they say around you. I just see it actually creating this platform for you where you can really, really launch a lot of things. It doesn't necessarily have to be launching a new product, but you can launch yourself into a place where you can be more seen in a way with how unique you are and what it is that you have to offer to the world, okay? And also when it comes to relationships, when you start that process of listening, you might hear things, maybe they'll be a little uncomfortable for some of you, but it'll give you information that can get you beyond all of that. Or you may hear something that not being said to you directly, because we're so good at communicating, are we? Aren't we? And you may actually hear that your partner is just absolutely crazy about you, but they never said that to you specifically. In like, so you could hear it in your, so you could hear it and hear like understand it, right? You sort of have to put two and two together, you know, like it's a math exercise. I'm so good at math. No, I'm not. So keep that in mind, right? So let's dive into the cards here. This month I am using the Odyssey Tarot. And it's a unique deck that I just love working with for some odd reason. And it was gifted to me by a friend, and it's different. So as you can see, it says the Ace of Shells, which is in traditional tarot, it's Ace of Cups. So let me talk to you a little bit about the terminology as we go through. So when you hear me talk about shells, we're talking about cups. When you hear me talk about tridents, we're talking about wands. And when you hear me talking about starfish, we're talking about pentacles or coins. And when I talk about swords, we're just talking about swords. But for some reason, the author of this particular deck didn't have some kind of creative word for swords. So I guess, you know, our mermaids and mermen underneath the sea, you know, they use swords. Anyway, let's get into this because I could sit and philosophize over that for a long time, and it'll get boring, and we won't get anywhere. There is a message here that I want to give to you, so they're definitely wanting me to hear that. So the first card is the King of Swords, and just like the Emperor, he's been working out a lot. What's with the loincloth? I mean, it's just hysterical. King of Swords here, you know, like he rules from the heart, you know. He's also, it's so interesting because this particular King of Swords, you know, he's the messenger, right? But it seems like, you know, hey, I'm so tired of delivering this message because no one's listening to me. And we're back to the whole listening aspect again, because there is a lot of information coming your way also in the month of September that is directly linked to relationships. So again, you know, and but any kind of news that are coming in will be good news. That I do know, and because he delivers everything from a place of wanting to see you succeed. I really believe that. Right next to the King of Swords, we have the Fool. Always in almost all decks, you see the dog that's standing there trying to get the Fool's attention. You know, but the Fool is not distracted easily, right? Because the Fool it's ready going out into the world and explore all the newness and what's going on there. So, and it's also about taking a little bit of a leap of faith, you know. So a lot of things are trying to distract the Fool from living life, you know, and I do feel that as you move forward, you know, there are certain situations that's going to feel like someone's trying to distract you or something. It doesn't have to be a person. And what I would say is that keep that childlike nature in your heart, you know, and move in to the world with open eyes, with fresh eyes, with that kind of curiosity that you see in newborn babies or toddlers, right? I'm a granduncle, and my two grandnephews, so to speak, that just turned 1 year old, but they're all like eyes open, going, "Wow, what's going on in the world?" And it's just so sweet. Anyway, right next to that, you get the Ace of Shells, which is the Ace of Cups. New beginnings in love. If you're already in a relationship, there's gonna be a quality of newness that's going to show up. So keep that in mind. You're being gifted with the Star, and that means that, especially for me, it means that you're not being led astray. Okay, you're being guided in the right direction, and I want you to keep in mind that the right direction is not the right direction for everyone, but it'll be the right direction just for you, and it'll be to a place where you can make better choices of what it is that you want to experience in the future, so to speak, and down the road. And remember, when we're talking September, This is not, all of this is not happening right in September. There is a process going on, right? But it'll bubble to the surface, so you can pay attention to it and take it into to whatever it is that may present itself further down the road. You get the Page of Swords here. For some reason, he's trying to pretty pointless. He's trying to fight the waves with a sword. I'm not sure how that works. But it's also about being able to fight against the current in order to get your attention, which is pointless, because I really feel that there is somebody there who really does want to get your attention, but the fighting in it is just it's sort of just a weird approach, if you ask me. It just is. It's just like, why can't we just keep it more grounded? Why can't you just say exactly what you want? Why all this and anything that's kind of elusive? Why are you checking out my social media? I mean, I'm right here. I mean, it's almost like they're sitting right in front of you and checking out your Instagram account right in front of you where you go. Why don't you just ask me? I mean, it's 10 times easier. But hey, people, they do what they do, don't they, right? Because of whatever personal things that they're going through. We are then looking at the Chariot coming up here, you know. So keep in mind you're on the right track. You're moving forward. Even when things seems like they're a little stagnant, you are moving forward. And you're in control. You're in the driver's seat. Keep that in mind with everything we just talked about. Keep in mind, you are in the driver's seat. So we go back and I say, listen, you know, keep those ears open, you know, pay attention. Know that there are newness and messages coming your way, and allow yourself to stay strong and know that you're being guided in the right direction, and that there's lots of information coming your way in September that'll make so much more sense about where you're at now, where you have been, and where you're going. So pay attention to that. So there you go, your September reading. And if you liked what you heard here and what you saw, then please like, subscribe, and share. That would be wonderful. I would so appreciate it. And again, I do personal readings over at one2listen.com. You can find me there, and all of that is described just below this video. So have a beautiful September, dear Pisces. Cancer. I mean, Cancer. I'm really just sort of like submerged in water here, you know. That makes everything so fluid, right? You know, I love water, by the way. So have a good September, Cancer.